Good evening, everyone. New Zealand mare Ethereal has won the Melbourne and Caulfield Cups double, giving trainer Sheila Laxton a place in history. She becomes the first female trainer to take out the ultimate prize. And it turned out to be a great race for the international horses. Give the Slip finished a gallant second and Persian Punch third. Here's a full replay of the Melbourne Cup for 2001.
Racing in the Cup. Freemason from the outside stall jumped away well. So too did Pastor Express near the inside with Prophet's Kiss and also Spirit of Westbury, May the Horse Be With You, Celestial Show. They're all handy in the early part of the race. As is Give the Slip, he's going up in search of the lead. Wider out was Hill of Grace, and Freemason will be forward in the early part. Karasi handy as well. Rain Gauge drifting back end wide. Marion Bard is the widest runner. Sky Heights is last as they run onto the course proper the first time. Give the Slip in front of Celestial Show, and Freemason in the Cerise Colours is working its way up to second. Karasi fourth around Hill of Grace, and on the inside Pastor Express. Marion Bard improving, but it must be 5 wide. Getting past Persian Punch, Ethereal, Spirit of Westbury and Rum over on the rails. Then Curado Storm, May the Horse Be With You. Prophet's Kiss on the inside, then Caetano and Rain Gauge. A length and a half to win a flurry. Outside of it was Reenact, 2 lengths to Big Pat. Then Yippee-I-Yo, Mr. Prudent, and last is Sky Heights as they turn out of the straight in the Tui's New Melbourne Cup. 2,200 left to travel, and Give Them the Slip is doing just that. Give the Slip is 2.5 lengths in front of Freemason. Celestial Show was third, fourth Karasi. Marion Bard forced to run 3 deep, and Persian Punch is 4 wide. Pastor Express is about 5th on the rails. Hill of Grace in the middle. Marion Bard 3 out. Persian Punch allowed to stride. He's 4 deep. A length and a half away, Ethereal. Then came Rum, Spirit of Westbury. Another length away, Curado Storm 3 deep. On the rails, Prophet's Kiss, and then May the Horse Be With You. 2 lengths to the German galloper Caetano from Rain Gauge in a flurry. Next Reenact, 2 lengths away, the grey Big Pat, 4th last. On the inside of Yippee-I-Yo, then Mr. Prudent, and the favourite Sky Heights is last and 15 lengths off the lead. 1,500 to go. Give the Slip by 2 lengths to Freemason. Third Celestial Show's had the box seat run so far. 3 wide Persian Punches had to do it real tough with a big weight. Then in 5th position, Karasi. A length and a half to Marion Bard. It's also been racing wide. On the rails, Pastor Express has had a nice run. A length away, the mare Hill of Grace. Then came the Caulfield Cup winner, Ethereal. Rum about midfield on the rails. A length away, Spirit of Westbury. Then Prophet's Kiss, May the Horse Be With You. Curado Storm's been wide. Then came nearer the inside, May the Horse Be With You. Getting past it now was Caetano from In a Flurry. Then came Rain Gauge about 15 lengths off the lead. Curado Storm is gone. It's been passed by Big Pat, Reenact. Also Yippee-I-Yo, Sky Heights a long way from them. Then Mr. Prudent as Curado Storm dropped out. About 700 left to travel, and Give the Slip by a length to Persian Punch. 3 lengths away, Karasi, Celestial Storm. Ethereal runs on from Marion Bard, hard ridden, and they were followed back in the field by May the Horse Be With You as they round the home turn. They've got about 500 left to travel, and Give the Slip led into the straight. 2 lengths away, Persian Punch. Then Caetano into the clear, Karasi. Ethereal, Celestial Show, then Marion Bard. Further back to May the Horse Be With You. Give the Slip in front. 4 lengths to the mare Ethereal giving chase. Then Persian Punch. Further back to May the Horse Be With You. The leader Give the Slip. Ethereal's coming hard on the outside. The New Zealand mare. Ethereal after Give the Slip. Ethereal hit the lead in the cup. Ethereal takes the Caulfield Melbourne Cup double. Ethereal and Scott Cena have beaten Give the Slip. 6 lengths away, Persian Punch, an almighty run. Then came Karasi, Sky Heights, Rain Gauge, May the Horse Be With You, Marion Bard. Next in Reenact, and then Mr. Prudent, followed by Prophet's Kiss, In a Flurry, Celestial Show, Rum. Caetano dropped out of it from Freemason, and then Spirit of Westbury, Yippee-I-Yo, Big Pat, and towards the back was Pastor Express. And we lost one along the way. Hill of Grace was Hill of Grace just up near the home turn.
Let's now check the Cup dividends. Ethereal paid $10 the win, $3.70 the place. Give the Slip, the import, second, returned a healthy $12.30, while another international, Persian Punch, finished third in '98, and today as a 9-year-old repeated that deed. The Quinella on 13 and 5 paid almost $300, though trifecta just over $5,000. Let's now cross live to Gerard Waitley at Flemington. Gerard, so many stories out of today's Cup. Where do we start?
Oh, so let's start with Ethereal, the champion mare who was never supposed to run in the Melbourne Cup until a week after it had won the Caulfield Cup. Now joins names like Might and Power, Doremus and Let's Elope as the 11th horse to complete the Cup's double. There is one conversation this day which will go down in Melbourne Cup folklore, and it is when Peter Vella, the owner of Ethereal, sought out the advice of former champion jockey Brent Thompson. His intention after the fourth race was to scratch the mare as the track continued to deteriorate. It was downgraded to slow, and he feared running on a heavy track. Brent Thompson went and spoke with Scott Seamer, who rode the mighty mare to victory, and he just said no way, she must go round. The track, while worse than the Caulfield Cup, was still clearly raceable on, and what a decision that has proved to be. There's another great story, well, one we'll talk about for a while. The import Give the Slip from the mighty Godolphin stable. The question being asked all afternoon is Richard Hills, the jockey, stuck firm to the rail, which was clearly the worst ground all day, and only got run over in the last 100 metres. There will be questions about that for a long time. Carpstad Way, who was right in the market the whole way through the Melbourne Cup, was scratched, I think, about 50 minutes before start time because of the wet track. Universal Prince, of course, this morning. But really, all honours with jockey Scott Seamer, and Brad McEwen got him in the mounting yard.
Scott Seamer joins me. Scott, pardon me for stating the obvious, but you have won the Melbourne Cup.
Yeah, so they keep telling me.
How are your emotions now? It's been a little while since the race finished.
Yeah, everything's fine. Just media and everyone's sort of hassling me, but no, it's okay.
Now, Give the Slip made you work every inch of the way for that win, didn't he?
Yeah, he slipped to the front probably before the corner, and I had him in my sights, but I didn't want to go too early. I just waited till we got to 300, and I was in the best part of the track. He wasn't, so... And where the winning post is, that's where the paycheck usually, it comes. So I waited, and, we got the money.
Now, you win a Melbourne Cup, not a very nice way for your mount to say thank you, dumping you on the way back to the scales.
It wasn't really her fault. Someone threw some streamers at the clerk of the course. He come back, hit my mare, knocked me off. And then I was just trying to make sure she didn't get hurt, and the clerk of the course spun around and trod on my foot.
Now, I can see you limping. How's your leg now?
Yeah, it's just a bit blue and bruised, but it's okay.
Ethereal wasn't going to run in the Melbourne Cup. Sheila changed her mind. Did you have any say in that?
Well, it was up to probably myself, Sheila, and the owner, Peter Vella. We just discussed what was best for the mare, and then we decided on the Melbourne Cup.
And you've sacrificed a lot to get here, haven't you? Just tell us a bit about that.
Oh, I wouldn't say a sacrifice. I just followed a good horse. They're so hard to find these days, and the owner and trainer were quite happy to have me on, so I'd give it my best.
You knew a while ago, though, that this horse had something special, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, she's certainly a good race mare, and, hopefully she can turn into a very good brood mare.
Scott, can I ask what's on tonight?
I'd say a quiet meal and a few drinks.
All right, Scott, again, congratulations and a job well done.
Thanks very much.
Well, Sheila Laxon has already left Flemington. In fact, she'll be back at Macedon by now with the Melbourne Cup winner settling Ethereal for the night in the stable before returning for the celebrations. It's a day she'll never forget. For another trainer, Bede Murray, it's a day he'll never want to remember.
Bede Murray is a broken man, his dream in tatters.
Nothing worse. No.
Feel like that last week not coming back?
Oh, no.
Universal Prince emerged just before 7 o'clock, needing to prove his fitness to run in the Melbourne Cup. But on the biggest day on the racing calendar, this would be as close to the Flemington stands this horse would get.
I reckon he's no different from he was on Saturday.
And what do you think?
Bullshit.
Go to be
13.
There's no question in our mind the horse is lame, and on that basis it's not suitable to run.
The horse is 101%.
So this horse is going to be in its box at 3:10 when you've got a live chance to win the Melbourne Cup.
That's right.
Universal Prince was scratched because of a lame right hind leg. Murray is adamant the vets are wrong.
You guys haven't laid a hand on this horse. And I said, come back to the stables, diagnose where the problem is. I want to know. I know there's no problem.
I have great sympathy for both he and the owner and anybody else who's backed the horse in pre-race betting.
Those words no comfort to a devastated man and his equally devastated team.
It's a saga we will talk about for quite a time to come. 13 years ago, Sheila Laxon came to Flemington with her husband, Laurie. They walked away that day with the Melbourne Cup with Empire Rose. 13 years later, Sheila has come here and become the first woman to win the Melbourne Cup in her own right. Ethereal carried number 13. It jumped from barrier number 13, so Quarters, whoever said 13 was an unlucky number?
Not today anyway, thanks to Gerard Waitley at Flemington. There were 9 other races on the card, and like the Cup, they also provided their share of spills and thrills.
Horrific conditions greeted racing fans for the start of Cup Day, making the job of calling almost impossible.
Yeah, let's go up to Dan, and Daniel, good luck.
The weather improved, but only marginally for the Great Western. The Lee Freedman-Damien Oliver combination started favourites with Moon Dragon, and, as he's done all spring, D. Oliver delivered.
Moon Dragon in front, Oliver pushing the favourite clear. Moon Dragon 2 in front, Night Chaser ducked in, and Moon Dragon wins it. Moon Dragon 2 lengths to Night Chaser.
Moon Dragon paying $3 and $1.30. The trifecta on 4, 10 and 5, just under $800. Greg Childs teamed with Tony McAvoy to steer Fields of Omar home in the Hong Kong Jockey Club plate.
Fields of Omar in front of Shot of Thunder. Thong Classic runs on. Fields of Omar got clear though. 2 lengths to Shot of Thunder, Thong Classic. Fields of Omar's home. Fields of Omar by 2 lengths.
Fields of Omar paying $7.10 and $2.70 for the win. Thong Classic second, $1.90, Shot of Thunder, $3.70. And a number of spills in the hurdle. Michael Moroney's He's Back on Track had to be put down after this fall.
He wanted to drift out a little bit. Oh, he's back on track. The favourite's fallen.
Classic Tudor OK after sliding underneath the running rail. Joy for Jenny Chapman with Torval and Dean saluting.
What a thrill. This is fantastic, Pete. Oh, every owner's dream, I would think, on Cup Day.
Tim Hodges, 10 News.
And correct weight is through for the last at Flemington. Let's check the dividends. Freeduff paying $5.30 and $2.10. King Island $2 to place. Legend of Ace $2.50. The Quinella $10.90. Trifecta $159.40.